Oh, you want to take way too long.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Yeah, this is. Everything's to interact now. Oh, Speedy Gonzalez. What a floating head. Oh, okay. I'm inside the chair. I just locked myself out of my own door.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers. Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Hey, funny.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
No.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
No, I want to go back. Why can't I use the door?
Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
I'm gonna stand again.
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it. At this point, Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality.
Your
It's
personality is
possible that this
amazing.
is why everyone left.
Yo, this is why everyone left. I didn't expect that. I'm just.
Stanley sat around waiting for more dialogue, but when a long time had passed and there was no more, he decided that the game was trying to send him a message. But at last, he'd had enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on his left to get back to business.
Does this thing move?
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't 5 years ago.
Where am I?
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the... But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death.
I had
Good
to.
job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Thank you. Okay, I just restart, I guess.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow, yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't 5 years ago.
Okay, let's not
Stanley,
leap
I
off
think
the
perhaps
trap.
we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you
Yes.
that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look,
Is that a
let me
bucket?
prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
I like blue though.
Perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the
I like
red
blue.
door. I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door. All right, fine. Go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road
Yeah.
you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you. You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you?
Yeah.
Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far.
Why
Tell
must
you
I
what,
work with you? Shouldn't
let me
you
take a
me?
stab in the dark at a new design and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
Where should I go? Where should I go? What happened to the door handle? No, I like this one. Take me back, please.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you
Why
more
did you choose
choices?
this?
Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here. A 1? I mean, I can understand if you had reservations, you saw ways the game could be improved to more fully express itself mechanically and artistically, but a 1? That's not even helpful. What am I supposed to do with that? But I guess it isn't my place to judge. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
Okay, let's look together. Stanley Parable World. Yeah. Where's the rest of them? Criminal Skid. Only the worst 3% of players choose. I am not the worst. Complete against others to improve your Stanley Parable. How long does it take you to get to the correct toss? Stanley, like object, you're objectively ranked. It has not been close to that. That's not even fair.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please. Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some play testing. You wouldn't
Let's
mind
go.
taking a look at it, would you?
Nope.
Perfect. Let me boot it up.
Let's go.
In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience. You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's
Both.
the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm done. It's over.
Yeah.
Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to ease the pain.
Yeah, sure.
Let's see. What do we have here? Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
What the hell?
Aha! Fascinating. What
I'm
do
a
you think this
typewriter.
game is about, Stanley? What's our backstory?
Hey, that's
What is
my
our
initial.
motivation? Well, it seems obvious to me that you are meant to play as a creepy man spying on innocent civilians below you from up
What?
high in your creep tower, perhaps for some sort of
Creep
twisted
tower?
erotic purpose.
Yeah.
Yes, that must be it. What a fascinating venture into the experience of total mental depravity. So far, I love everything about this game, Stanley. And
Yeah,
it
me
seems
too.
there's even more. Come, let's venture outward and see what else is out there.
Let's go. This game doesn't look too bad. Looks like a 2010 game. Graphics aren't that good. It's still very playable.
Oh no. No, it can't be. It is. It's an open world game. Good God, quickly block it off. Oh, thank goodness, Stanley. What a
Why?
close call. You really wandered off into that thing. That big, open, just wandering around. No right or wrong directions. No path to follow. You can just go in any... Oh, thank heavens we avoided it. We're out of the woods now, Stanley. Okay,
Aren't we
I'm
in the
going to
woods?
get us out of here. Let's find another
I
game.
can shimmy through here.
Preferably something with walls. Something with nice, big, insurmountable walls.
Let's go.
Okay, I think this will be just the thing. Wonderful. See, this is exactly what I had in mind. Just a nice big box for you to run around in. There isn't any possibility that you could get lost here. Now
This is Rocket
is
League.
game design.
This is
Stanley,
my...
if you manage to get lost
I
in this
play Rocket
game, I
League.
will be phenomenally impressed.
Love Rocket League.
Okay, so what exactly do we do here? Let's see. There are lots of cars here in the back, but obviously there's no racetrack. Okay, I'm seeing that there's a ball of some kind back here. Is this game sports ball?
Yes.
Stanley, I think it's sports ball. Oh, what fun. We shall run the bases and do a
I'm playing
touchdown
Rocket League right
together.
now.
Yes, I think surely we must. Okay, Stanley, here's the ball. Have fun.
What am I supposed to do? 360! Let's go. Let's go. Scoring a flip reset. I'm sorry.
Are you doing?
What?
Hold on. What are you doing?
I fell on the over accident. Help me.
Stanley, don't do that. I can't follow you there. I can't help you. How will you write a story without me? You can't do it. You know that. Stanley, come back.
Oh shit. Yeah, man. Oh no, I don't like creepy shit. No, 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 no. No.
I wonder what he found.
Oh.
If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice, and if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon.
I'll be back.
Very soon.
I
can wait.
We can both wait, but I'm just sitting here doing nothing. What? That time says. That time is fast. It's fast. Give me a second.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Time for run 2. Okay, wasn't meant to go here. I'm sorry, what?
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
I live here now. Hola, señorita.
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
I want to go on top. I could go on top of this.
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
FA. You need to fuck off.
Are you really still in the broom closet? Standing around doing nothing?
I'm playing with the door.
Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
I'm going downstairs, nigga. Go off. Why is the red light? Why is this shit creepy?
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his
Salutations, young
boss,
one.
admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy,
I'm
why had he
streaming
taken that
Stanley
risk?
Parable.
All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to
on the
himself,
group.
maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all.
This narrator,
None
I
of it
killed
made any
myself, I got
logical
lost.
sense. And as Stanley pondered this,
now I'm
he
following
began to
his
make
orders.
other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down?
So am I. I'm just waiting
Why
for
did
my wife to
doors
call me
close
so I can ditch
automatically
off.
behind him wherever he went? And for that matter,
Nothing.
these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they
Yeah,
simply
this is Daniel.
repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't
Oh,
be
by the way,
real.
the game can
And
hear
at
you.
last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what
I
a
got
relief
back.
Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone.
Click on
He
the
wasn't
thing
going
and
to
then
lose
go
his
to my
job.
account,
He
go to
wasn't crazy
profile and
after
see if the
all.
stream is there.
And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this
Refresh
while
the
I'm
page.
still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical star.
The guy just started flying.
And it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps
I'm
the
lucid
strangest
dreaming.
question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing
hearing
my
voices are
thoughts,
normal.
he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's
feel like I'm
asleep,
playing
he doesn't have
F1.
to take responsibility for himself? Stanley
Making the
is
shortest
as
route
awake
possible.
right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite
What's
a
my
shock
time
to
there?
Stanley.
What's my time?
After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently,
I went
and he
around this
invited
thing at least
himself
like
to
20
wake
times.
up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one.
Open my eyes.
Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment
I'm walking
and
into
my
a wall.
wife And my job, all I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal.
You're not
Everything will
normal.
be fine. I am okay.
I was walking into a
Stanley
chair.
began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I
Why is
must
my
be.
skin
Can
going
anyone
red?
hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
No.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the
Yo,
body of a man who had
Stanley.
stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead
What
on the
ending is
sidewalk.
this?
And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was sublime, a work of art. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track. But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left.
Hey, Robin.
Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake. No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please? Now, let's see. We went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way. No, 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 no. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.